Alright, so once a year I take my competition guns completely apart and I put them in my sonic cleaner. I have the Hornady 2L sonic cleaner and it works extremely well. I just put some gun cleaning solution in there. I know there are some homemade recipes, but I just bought the Hornady stuff. Another pro tip, I like to use a variety of different Q-tips. You can get those in the health and beauty section at any department store that sells that kind of stuff. Alright, so the sonic cleaner is the fastest way to do a full cleaning. I do it once a year, and you can see everything looks pretty much brand new again. So some of the machining is really hard to clean, and some of that stuff just won't come out. But I'm okay with that. It does a really good job of getting everything really clean. I could do it by hand, but it would take a long time. There are some things I don't put in my sonic cleaner. I don't put my slide in there because obvious reasons. I have the optic on it. But I find this isn't too terribly hard to keep clean anyway. I do take my striker out, and I'll clean in the channel in there. And then same with the ejector. The ejector comes out too. And I don't put the frame in there. But this is easy, really easy to keep clean. Probably the easiest part of the gun to keep clean. Everything just wipes out really, really easy. So I put all the parts in the sonic cleaner. I turn the heat on and I let it run for around 45 minutes. Take everything out. The parts are warm to hot when I take them out, so generally they dry really quickly, but I do wipe everything off with a dry cloth, and I'll let everything sit here for at least a day, and then I'll put everything back together another day. When I do put my trigger components together, I use all Lucas products, and I like to use Lucas gun grease in some of my trigger components where the trigger bar slides on the side of the trigger housing. I'll use some gun grease there, and then where the trigger rotates, I'll use gun grease there as well. So, and in the injector, let me find it here. Right here is the ejector part of it. That's the push rod, and then the ejector. So I'll put a little grease where these two surfaces meet up. I'll put some grease in there too. And then everything else is going to get just gun oil. I also don't put my striker assembly in the sonic cleaner. Again, this doesn't get very dirty either. Just the firing, come on, focus. Just the firing pin on the tip there. I haven't cleaned that yet, but everything else stays relatively clean in there. And I don't put this in the sonic cleaner for a couple reasons. I feel that I just don't want to get too much moisture down in that channel. I suppose a guy could use compressed air and blow that out, but it doesn't get that dirty, so that won't go in the sonic cleaner either. I'll hand clean that stuff. So my favorite tool to clean my guns, whether it's a once a year full strip cleaning or if it's just a field strip that I clean every time I go out and shoot, I have a really dull small pocket knife, and it works really well to scrape carbon off areas. I don't really worry about the finish too much. It doesn't bother me. But where the ejector sits, we get a lot of buildup in there. So I will scrape that off every time. And then on the underside of the slide assembly, up there above my finger, there's a lot of carbon buildup there too. So I just use a dull pocket knife and I scrape that stuff out. It tends to work the best. All right, so I thought I'd just take a few minutes, do a short video of some of the tips I have for a full detailed cleaning. Like I said, I only do this once a year. I do have a backup gun. It's set up almost identical to my primary gun, and if anything were to happen at a match, any sort of failures on my gun part, I would just go to my backup gun, and then I would do a full cleaning like this, just to kind of figure out what wear parts might have went bad, and replace those as needed. And then I also inspect everything once a year here, see if anything is worn out and needs replaced. I shoot roughly 10,000 rounds a year. Everything's been holding up really good so far, and hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks for watching.